The embryo is an early developmental stage of animals. In humans, the embryo begins to develop about 4 days after an egg is fertilized. Appearing initially as a tiny mass of cells, it eventually gives rise to the fetus, an obvious human form. In the first days of the embryo's existence, it journeys along the fallopian tube. About 1 week after conception, it reaches the uterus, which is prepared to receive it with a network of blood vessels and glands. By this time, the embryo has become a fluid-filled sphere of nearly 100 cells. Some of the cells become finger-like projections that anchor the embryo to the uterus to draw nourishment and oxygen and to rid the embryo of wastes. The anchoring cells secrete a hormone that will prevent the disintegration of the lining. Once the embryo anchors to the uterus, there will be no menstrual period. 3 weeks after fertilization, though still smaller than a grain of rice, the embryo has a primitive heart. Through the following weeks, its tissues and organs will develop. In 4 weeks, it looks like this. 5 weeks, about the size of a pea. 6 weeks. 7 weeks. At 2 months, it is called a fetus. When the embryo attaches to the uterus, a complex structure of vessels and cells forms, which is called the placenta. A network of the embryo's blood vessels closely intermingles next to the mother's blood supply. While the blood of the embryo and that of the mother don't actually mix, materials such as oxygen, nutrients, and waste products can pass between mother and embryo. If their blood were to mix, the embryo would be rejected by the mother's immune system. This happens because the embryo essentially is a foreign organism. It shares only half of its genetic constitution with the mother. The umbilical cord emerges from the placenta and leads to the abdomen of the fetus. When the cord is removed at birth, the belly button is created. During pregnancy, the placenta and umbilical cord serve as pathways for everything the fetus needs to grow. By the 3rd month, all the organs of the fetus are essentially in place, and the fetus enters a period of intense growth. During the 4th month, the fetus doubles in size. Its muscles twitch. By the 5th month, it is about 8 inches, nearly 21 centimeters long. It kicks occasionally. Its heart rate averages about 140 beats per minute, twice the speed of an adult's. After 9 months, it is fully developed and birth occurs.